this is Andrea. I'm a youth services librarian at the Hickory Corner branch of the Mercer County Library System, and today we're back in my kitchen so I can make for you quick tiramisu for two. Tiramisu is a classic Italian dessert. It's flavored with coffee-soaked ladyfingers, and then it's layered with a mascarpone cream. I love coffee and coffee-flavored things. You might have noticed from my coffee decor back here. So this is one of my favorite desserts. A traditional tiramisu is usually made with raw eggs, but I'm swapping that out today for a whipped cream, a homemade whipped cream that I'm gonna make with the mascarpone in it. And that way it's just a little bit of a faster recipe, and then you don't have to worry about the raw eggs. And the reason I'm calling this tiramisu for two is because this is like a half recipe, and it's nice if you're doing it for a date night or a smaller family. Personally, I just don't want a giant dessert in my fridge because I'm gonna keep eating it. So I'm gonna make this tiramisu for two for you today. So I'm gonna set this one aside. This is one that I made earlier. And what you're gonna need is a half a cup of heavy cream or whipping cream. You're going to need 4 ounces of mascarpone cheese, and it comes in an 8-ounce container, so you're just gonna need half the container. 2 tablespoons of sugar, a half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 3/4 of a cup of strong coffee or espresso. I didn't have espresso, so I just made my coffee really strong. 1.5 tablespoons of coffee liqueur or brandy or amaretto. You can leave the alcohol out altogether, but I'm gonna use a coffee liqueur today. If you're making this for people who can't have alcohol or can't have caffeine for that matter, you can do decaf coffee. You can leave out the alcohol altogether. Don't worry about that, but this is how I'm gonna make mine today. You need about 8 to 10 of these lady fingers. These are store-bought ones. One sleeve looks like that. I'm only gonna use 8 of them because of the size of the container I'm using. This is a 5x5 baking dish. And then you're gonna need some unsweetened cocoa powder, and that's just to dust on the top for decoration. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're gonna want to get your bowl to do your whipped cream. I had this chilling in the fridge before the video started. I think starting with a chilled bowl just makes for a nicer whipped cream. So you're just gonna start by pouring your heavy cream into your bowl. I also chilled the beaters on my whisk as well, my electric mixer back there. Okay, so put that into your bowl, and then you're gonna wanna beat this on a medium speed until you have soft peaks. If you saw my cookies and cream video, you'll see that I made a homemade whipped cream, and this is the same method. So forgive me, it's gonna be a little loud for a minute. Okay, I'm just gonna increase the speed to about medium. We're just gonna go around and around. It's gonna start to get foamy. And you're gonna see it start to thicken. All right, and when it gets to the point where it starts to get thick and you have what we call soft peaks, you're just gonna wanna turn your mixer off. And then you're gonna want to put in the sugar, the half teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and then you're gonna wanna put in the mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone cheese is just like an Italian cream cheese. And I was able to easily get this in my last grocery order, so it should be easy enough to find in the store. You can always substitute with cream cheese, but really it's meant to be made with the mascarpone. So we're gonna go back to the electric mixer, and we're gonna mix this until we have the stiff peaks of a nice whipped cream. Okay, and just like when you're making any whipped cream, you do not wanna over mix this. You want it to be stiff, so you don't wanna go past the stiff peaks point. Tap off those. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. All right, and there you go. So I'm just gonna go around with the cleaning spatula and just make sure, and I'll hold it up for you so you can kind of see. It's a little stiffer than a traditional whipped cream because it has that mascarpone in it. Okay, so that will be the other layer to our tiramisu. So what you're gonna wanna do now is get out like a shallow dish like this and pour in your coffee. Let me grab that. All right, and we're gonna pour in a tablespoon and a half of the coffee liqueur. And again, this is a totally optional step. I just think it tastes good. All right, we can put that off to the side as well. Give that a little stir. Okay, and the next thing we're gonna do is we are gonna dip those lady fingers and start to layer our dessert. So I'm gonna get out our little dish and I'm gonna open up our package here. This dish fits 4 across perfectly, and then you'll need a second layer, so you'll need to put 4 more. So I only need 8 out of here. You wanna dip these on both sides, but do not soak them. They are pretty delicate, and if you soak them, they're gonna get super mushy and you don't want that, okay? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. You might just have to push them in a little bit. The bottom of this dish is just a tiny bit more narrow than the top. Okay, so we've got our first layer down. Then you're gonna take about half the cream here, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. Take a big dollop and put it in, smooth it out over those lady fingers. Okay, there you go. And then we just need to do 4 more lady fingers dipped in that coffee mixture. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's make room for all of them. Okay, one more quick peek in there so you can see what that looks like. And we're actually done with this coffee, so we can set that off to the side. And then take your remaining mascarpone cream, big dollop on top there. I'm gonna take my offset spatula so that I can even this out nicely, because this will be the top layer, so you want this layer to look pretty. I love an offset spatula. It's one of the things I go to the most in my kitchen. That and these little mini rubber scrapers. Love those too, super handy. Okay. Just so that we have a nice even layer for a pretty presentation. You can even put the cream into a piping bag and you can make little dollops on top. And there you go. Now to finish this off, I would recommend getting a plate out and putting this on top to collect any of the mess, because you're gonna take a fine mesh strainer and a tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. You probably don't even need a full tablespoon. And you're gonna put this on top, and then you're just gonna give it a little tap and go all the way around to finish it off. And again, see, you didn't even need that whole tablespoon. Maybe you can get away with a half tablespoon. Okay, and there you go. That is your tiramisu for 2. Your quick tiramisu for 2. See how fast that was? We're already done. So I'm gonna pop this one into the fridge. This needs at least 3 or 4 hours. Overnight would even be better, because this is one of those desserts that the longer it sits and the longer those flavors can marry together, the better it will be. So I made this one earlier this morning, so it's been at least 4 hours since I made this one. So I am going to take a big scoop out of it so I can show you what it looks like. So I'm just gonna get my, see, there you go, see those lady fingers and that cream. We'll put it into a little bowl. And then I think I'm gonna take a little taste. That is so good. That coffee flavor comes through, and it's cut really nicely by that thick, tangy mascarpone cream. I really hope you get a chance to try this recipe. It is so delicious. Bye.